It might seem like there's been a lot of bad news lately with Donald Trump running rampant across the country, getting his orange all over things, but there is still some good news coming and some folks fighting the good fight. One of them being Representative Jasmine Crockett, who just announced that if the Democrats take back the House and she gets elected to lead the Oversight Committee, which I think everyone should support, then the Democrats will be launching an investigation into Donald Trump and his vast amount of corruption. If you guys enjoy this kind of content the MAGAs hate to see, then you can support this channel by subscribing to Really American. Thank you.
If the Democrats take over after the midterms next year, the House and or Senate, do you think they're going to push for investigations into Trump's family and the whole crypto acquisitions that he is getting?
Well, Alex, I'm glad you asked.
Oh, here we go.
Listen, so long as we end up taking the House, which I fully anticipate that we will do, and we are going to work hard to obviously help our Senate colleagues as well, then as someone who serves on the Oversight Committee and hopes to lead the Oversight Committee, I can guarantee you that we will do what we are supposed to do as constitutionally sworn members of the House, which means that we will conduct oversight. That means that we will investigate. We will look at whether or not this president himself has violated the emoluments clause as it relates to, say, such things as getting a $400 million plane from the Qataris. We also will make sure that we're looking into all these business deals that they have going on. I mean, think about it this way, Alex. They were going after Hunter because he sat on a board. Think about how much money they are raking in, whether we're talking about the next golf resort that they're setting up in Qatar, or whether we're talking about them leveling Gaza, as they've talked about, and talked about how it would be great beachfront property, whether we're talking about this crypto scam, the scam that people didn't even want to walk into and show their faces. Let me tell you, there is no shortage of things for us to dig into and determine whether or not there have been not only violations of the law, but definitely violations of our Constitution as a whole.
Did you make a little news here? Didn't you say you hope to lead that committee?
I absolutely do. Unfortunately, we are going to lay our dear colleague, Jerry Conley, to rest here on Tuesday. And there will have to be an election to determine who is going to lead the Oversight Committee. And ultimately, I am hoping and praying that my colleagues see that I can provide what we need as a team to make sure that we can move forward and instill some confidence in the American people by knowing that they have a real fighter who will not back down, even in the face of all the threats that I will have waged at me, because Lord knows I get death threats every single day. But at the end of the day, I truly believe that God will never leave my side. And so I will fight fearlessly and ferociously for the American people.
This big, ugly bill that Trump has been spearheading and was pushed through the House is downright disastrous in a myriad of ways. For one, there's a provision in there that would bar judges from nationwide injunctions. But two, massive cuts for Medicaid, which means massive cuts for Medicare and SNAP benefits, all to benefit the rich.
Beyond the fact that it's just really a cruel bill, it's this idea that they are going to somehow be fiscally responsible when we know under the first Trump administration, they ran the national deficit up $8 trillion. And with this one bill, they want to raise the debt ceiling an additional $5 trillion. So here is the deal. If we have cut off everything that would help somebody, which doesn't sound like a very Christian thing to do, if we're going to do all of that, at least have something to show for it. They have nothing to show for it except for, again, those top earners being able to say, have their next trophy wife or buy their next yacht or get their next plane. That doesn't work for me, and that obviously does not work for my constituents.
This bill is so ridiculous and so expensive that Mike Johnson is having to do a media tour in order to answer for himself. Apparently, this man believes himself to be the modern Moses, and his bill is like a splitting the Red Sea moment for him. Too bad he seems to have forgotten that his own native state of Louisiana is the second largest recipient of SNAP benefits.
Listen to the statistics. In 2024, over $11 billion in SNAP payments were erroneous. I mean, that's a number that everyone acknowledges is real. It may be much higher than
Louisiana is
that,
like the
but
second
here's the
largest
problem.
recipient of food stamps in the country, sir. So
let me explain it, Margaret. Let me explain it. The states are not properly administering this because they don't have enough skin in the game. So what we've done in the bill is add just a modest state sharing component so that they'll pay attention to that, so that we can reduce fraud. Why? Again, so that it is preserved for the people that need it the most. This is common sense, Margaret. It's good government, and everybody on both sides of the aisle should agree to that.
Margaret, I got to tell you, it was like listening to 1984 or something, listening to the speaker. You know,
as Alex Cole expertly puts here, Mike Johnson blaming states for SNAP mismanagement while repping one of the worst ones is like a termite complaining about the house falling apart. And as the house falls down around them, someone is going to have to hold these people accountable for this. There is a massive disconnect between what the people want and what the Democrats are willing to offer. The first Russia collusion investigation seems to have scared most of the Democratic Party leaders into avoiding official investigations, but that seems to be a losing strategy to stopping a tyrannical fascist. Again, with the passing of Jerry Connolly, I think Jasmine Crockett is perfectly positioned to be an aggressive thorn in Trump's side.
Nothing else, because I don't know where he's ever going to go. And I don't think that those that have gone through West Point expected to have their commander-in-chief address them and start talking about trophy wives or start talking about how he had so many investigations. What a great reminder that you are not qualified to be the person that potentially will command us as troops to go into war. Like, that is not instilling confidence whatsoever. And honestly, our troops deserve better. Our graduates deserve better. We as a country deserve better. And frankly, if we are going to ever be seen as the world leaders that we historically have been, the world deserves better. It is time for Republicans to start calling him out and start questioning his mental acuity and whether or not he is equipped to serve mentally. We know when it comes down to his criminality, he is not qualified to serve. But this is just absolutely deplorable.
As much as the Republicans and Trump want to point their tiny little fingers at Joe Biden and call him too old, we can all clearly see that Donald Trump isn't exactly in his golden years. He's wandering around and bumping into walls way worse than Biden was. And Jake Tapper is writing books about Joe Biden's cancer as if it still matters. The dude wasn't even running for president this time around. We all know that Donald Trump's physicals have been faked every single time he does it. He says he's 6'4" and weighs like 225 or something ridiculous. Yet that's not some sort of massive health cover-up scandal. We all know he's covering it up. Once again, the double standard only cuts one way. And we've got to watch this bumbling buffoon destroy our country while the Republicans act like nothing's wrong. We need some straight shooters in there who are willing to hit them right back and not be afraid to get down and dirty. I'm Tony Hinderman with Really American, and I'll catch you next time.